Hello, welcome back.
Hey guys, in this video, we're gonna talk about things that we did not know when it comes to getting a mortgage.
Yeah, we know that they charge a lot of fees, hidden fees that we cannot argue or we don't know.
So, like, I realized the steps when buying a property, there's a few different ways of people doing things, but this is from our personal experience and how we go about acquiring a property. So it's already hard enough for us actually try to get a deposit or saving for a deposit. That alone is already a struggle in life. So if you got that down pack, the next thing would be shop for the loan first instead of shopping for the house. So I've bought and sold a couple of properties in my life, and what I realized is some people do is actually looking at the house first instead of looking at how much you can borrow first. Just because you think that you have XYZ dollars in your account, it doesn't mean that you can afford the property that you have
And
that you want.
Some people that we know that they bought the house, they paid the deposit.
Yeah.
Is the cooling off period, just a little bit of money, but then they tried to get a loan, they got rejected. So they have to forfeit the money, they wasted the time, they wasted the sellers and also the agent's time to go through the process.
To minimize that, I would, from our experience, we rather look at the mortgage.
The money sign first?
Yeah, the money sign. Like how much can you actually borrow? How much can you actually afford to make the repayment? Understand that first before you're looking at the house.
Just like when you go shopping, if you don't have the money, don't buy it. When you go grocery shopping, if your pocket, let's say if you're using cash, you only have $100, just use that $100. You don't want to buy something without any even credit card. You can't buy it, right? So you need to have your financial side sorted first.
The mortgage, I guess it's one of the low factor when I looked at a lot of property out there, or if not property, seminar, or when you talk to an agent alone, they sell you the tap fittings and the view, or how big it is, how close it is to a school, all the pros on the property, instead of looking at, can you actually afford this? So
you can't ask it if it sounds too rude.
Yeah,
though.
It's not a bit rude, but sometimes wait, have you actually got a deposit? And some people say, yes, I have all the deposit. I'm like, right, but can you get a mortgage based on your deposit? So that's the mortgage alone is like another setback before you're even looking at in the market, looking at the property. We know a few people, for example, they're going to buy over like $1 million worth of property, and when I ask them, have you got your finance sorted, do you know how much money you're going to be paying over throughout your whole entire 30 years? Some people don't understand how that works. So it's a bit overwhelming, and what most people don't see the stress on this. I find it's very stressful because you are the person that is going to be paying this over the lifespan of the loan, let's say. So be sure that you understand at least the basic concept of it. I did not know. When I first started, I'm like, just sign until we got the document, and before you know it, bang, here's
some fee.
Here are the fees, here's that.
How much you have to pay.
Yeah, and then works out to be, it's actually a lot more than what we expected to be. So by understanding a little bit of it, it might help.
Yeah.
So read the documents that the bank provided you, and it is a bit daunting because it's like 100 pages. But if you know the fees at the very least, at least you know how much you're actually physically paying. I didn't know that.
I think the minimum you have to know what's the minimum repayment for each month. If you're paying principal and interest, or you're only paying interest only. If you're paying interest, and how many years are they going to provide you? There are a lot of information when you apply a loan.
Yeah.
Right? And also about credit card. How many credit cards do you have? The more credit card you have, the less amount of money they will lend you, and also how many dependent children or child you have. For us, we have 2 young kids.
So our borrowing capacity went down because we have two children. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I guess that's one thing that we learn from our broker is the first thing is they always mention is one, close your credit cards.
If you have too
If
many.
you have a lot, just
Leave
even
one.
leave just one. That's one combined. So half. If you're a couple, just one combined. That's what we did.
Yeah.
So our brokers always mention that, like how much personal debt have you got? Like how much loans have you got out there?
Personal, car loan, or any other.
Yeah,
car.
credit card, car loans. They need to
Personal.
know that.
Yeah.
And every single outstanding debt there is. There's no point of you guys hiding this.
Because they will find out. There's credit report.
Yeah, they can actually check this, so there's no point of you hiding it. So, just because, again, like you have that 10% deposit or 20 or 5%, whatever the deposit is, they're gonna look at your income and outgoing of your month to month.
Yes.
So then they're bound to need to understand, because you have this big lump sum, they need to figure out, are you good with your money management? That's the simple version of it, I guess.
Yeah. And how much is your living expenses each month?
Correct.
So
So you need to understand how to budget that as well.
Yeah.
So-
And the serviceability in the future, if you have enough surplus money
Yeah.
to support your minimum repayment or even more.
Yeah.
Because what if they also calculate if the interest rate they're going higher, and they do some sort of calculation as well.
And if you really are scared in terms of, I guess, your credit card, you can't really live without a credit card.
Yeah.
Trust me, that I think it's like for every dollar on a credit card equivalent to $10 that you can't borrow a mortgage or something along that line. But we just go whatever the mortgage broker told us to do. We had in the beginning how many?
I think at that
How
time,
many did you have?
I got two or three.
You got 2 or 3, and then I've got, I think it's about 2.
I think.
2. So let's say 5. Let's say I think about 2 or 3 as well. I can't remember. It's that long ago. We closed every single one account.
We just leave one or two. That's it.
She had
Because I had 2 or 3, but I only use one.
correct.
I don't use them. They
Yeah,
just
it was
offer you
supposed to be
cards.
like a emergency in case of emergency, and then but we never use it.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. I had 2 or 3, but only one that is continually being using. And we both closed out both our accounts.
Yeah.
And now we only got one combined.
Yes.
So one combined.
Well, and that one combined is when we apply a loan, and that bank gave it to us. So we cancel
Yeah.
all this card and get another card.
So it's kind of
They love
funny,
to give you
like
money.
it's kind of funny the fact that that they in the beginning they're like, oh yeah, they want to know all of our income and expenses for like 2 years ahead, 2 or 3 years, sorry.
And the funny thing was, I can't remember how much combined the credit card value we had. I'll
Yeah.
say is like maybe maximum 20K.
Yeah.
Maximum. And then once we got this home loan, because we got filled with one particular bank, and then they gave us a credit card, and that with a credit limit of 50K. So we canceled all these 20K, and then they gave us 50K. We were like, why?
We were like gobsmacked when we guys, well, the mortgage broker told us to close our account, to close all of the credit card accounts, and which we did. And then if we have very small amount, like I think it was combined, I think it was like 5,000 or something like that combined. She's got 2.5 grand limit, I've got 2.5 grand limit, or something very small amount. And then when we signing up for the loan document, the manager actually
Here's
mentioned,
a new card.
oh, by the way, with your with your home loan, you're entitled to this platinum whatever credit card was. I'm like, oh, cool. So how much is the limit? That's the first thing that I asked. And they go, all right. So he tap around on his computer. Oh, by the way, you can borrow up to $50,000. We were, at best, 3 credit card. It was $20,000 limit combined.
Yeah.
And now we are given $50,000. And like, no, thank you. We'll
Can you limit that? Decrease it to 10,000.
decrease it for 10,000
And we never ever use more than that. Never.
in a month. Yeah.
No.
No?
I think maximum 5 grand when
When
I
we
buy
go on
holiday.
Yeah, we went.
No,
we had
I
an
u-
emergency, but that wasn't when it wasn't our, like for us. It was actually for family.
Oh
member.
yes.
Yeah, we were in New Zealand one day, and then we had to. One of our family member have to go fly direct away from New Zealand, so they didn't have the local credit card. So I figured, okay, I can
We
use
use
my
ours. Yeah.
local
It's
credit card.
a few grand. Like,
Yeah.
it's not much.
Like, but they pay us back within like 30 days or something like that before we have to pay credit card. But even that alone, we actually have money on the side ready set
To pay it
for
off.
that.
Yes.
So that's the emergency that we had. But the only reason we had that and we had to do that is because they don't take cash.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we went to the counter, go, hey, he's like, what is it, $3 grand or something?
Yes.
He goes, no, you have to pay by a credit card. I'm like, right, that's a bit unique, but okay, so we had to do it that way. That was the only time. The rest of the time, it's only just for our grocery shopping.
Yeah, even I pay for our traveling ticket, I pay by bank transfer or BPay because they charge for fee.
These days, when you buy stuff, you always look at the terms and conditions. Do I get charged if I use a credit card? If you do get charged for using a credit card, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
So, and instead of that, we'll have a bank transfer or deposit or something like that, somewhere that way it's not going to cost you extra money. So,
anyway, back to that 50K credit card. And yeah, we told them to limit down to 10,000 because we know that we wouldn't use it, but just in case. And some people, they would just fully take that 50K.
Yeah,
They got
and
a
it's
house.
a trap. It's a trap.
Badly. They got a house. Who's the winner is the financial institution. So they got a house. You got to pay them the home mortgage.
The mortgage for like these days is 30 years, but when this time it's actually recorded.
Yeah, on the other side, if you keep using your credit card and you couldn't pay it off, and you're going to pay 20% per year.
And if you're only paying the bare minimum as well, so they're just gonna milk every single money that you have.
Exactly. So be careful when they offer you a credit card once you got a approval. Don't think that you win a lottery. You don't think you're lucky. Just be careful.
Yeah. So talking to a few of our friends or colleagues and a few customers as well. It's a trap that.
Yeah, one of my friend, he got.
So they got a mortgage.
Well, yeah.
Like, congratulations, they got their investment property. Good on you from starting on this financial thing. I guess putting money aside for your future. Let's say. They got a house, great.
And then the bank lent them more money. I think 50K, and it's based on your home loan. So
they give you
I don't know how much, but let's say 50K. So they gave you another 50K attached to your home loan with the interest, and then he used that money to buy a car.
So is that car really worth it to me? Like you're paying a lot more on interest because it's attached to the property.
Home loan, yes.
So
I don't know. For us, we just don't like to buy a car with interest finance. If you can buy, for us, we only pay interest if that thing, that asset is increasing in value. So car depreciate. I don't like to pay interest on car. Clothes, yes.
Depreciate.
Exactly.
Shopping, well.
We have to. You have to live, right?
Yeah. But you can do that without a credit card if you choose to.
Yes.
What else? There's a lot of, I guess, all my gadgets, they all depreciate. Like this phone using to record, depreciate. So my example would be I had, I guess, a client where they bought a house in a good suburb. At the same time, they give you all of this offset facility, or hey, you can borrow money if you choose to. They ended up doing that, getting the new car, buying the TV, the sofa, everything matching and whatnot, keeping up with the Joneses. But that is actually, it cost him the lifestyle. Like he never actually being in the house because he had to go to work. So is it really worth it? Like you have to pay. Like I get it that everyone wants to have that new thing. Everyone want to have that new suave couch, TV, blah blah blah, all the bling bling, let's say. But at a cost for him, he had to work 60 hours a week, and he never seen his children. He goes to work pretty early morning, and then go home when the kids is already in bed. So there's bound to be a cost involved. So always go below your mean. Just because they offered you, like for us, for an example would be, they offered us $50,000 in that credit card. We didn't take it. We only take, $10,000.
Yeah, 1/5 of it.
And funny thing is, like later on throughout the year, when I was a bit down with my income, or so when I needed a credit card injection, they refuse to give us money now. When I call the bank up and go, hey, can I get my credit card limit just a little bit more higher? But like, you know, instead of 10, can I have a 15 to 20 or something? And they said, no, you can't. I'm like, oh, interesting. Even though we never like.
No, it's because we never ever pay any credit card interest, so they don't see you as valuable.
Probably. So, and there's, yeah, when it comes to a mortgage, there's always going to be lots of fees.
Yes. And be careful with the money. And whatever they're offering, you just think, okay, what am I getting from it?
What am I actually paying?
What are they getting from you?
Yeah.
Okay, it's always there the winner.
I was amazed when they itemized the fees, put it like we got given, I don't know, $350,000 worth of mortgage. But and then after that, because of these fees, that fees, it becomes to like 380 or something like that. Or if not, it's the other way around. 350 is your mortgage, but because we're taking these fees, your physical money that is actually being handed to you is like 320,000. So there's about $30,000 worth of fees or administration costs involved. So yeah, there's that aspect of it.
Yep.
Cool.
Tell us about your experience about mortgage fee or things that you didn't know.
Things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next video. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.